How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to go through a tier list of all the Amazing Spider-Man comic book keys. Now, if you're not familiar with a tier list, it looks something like this. We're going to rank them all the way from S down to F. Now, A through F is pretty self-explanatory, A being the best, but S means super or superb. That is the top tier that you can get. Now we're going to go through each of these keys and I'm going to rank them. Now it's not just based off price, how much these comic books go for. That is a factor. But there's also desirability. Like how desired are these comic books? And then also long term. Where are these comics going to be long term? Are they going to, have a character that's good right now and then kind of fades away and never gets used again and then the key kind of drops in value? We're going to go through all that. So let's get right into it. I'm not going to do these in order, kind of make it a little more fun. I'm just going to grab a random one and start with that one. So here we go. Spider-Man number 20. Now, Spider-Man number 20, I'm just going to put it here for now, is the first appearance of the Scorpion. Now, this is a pretty big key, but I would say it's probably on your B list. It's not obviously an S list tier, and I wouldn't even consider an A. Now, it does have a lot of good things going for it. Silver Age, first appearance of kind of a major villain, Scorpion, but I'm gonna say it's around a B tier. Then we got the Enforcers. Now the Enforcers, Spider-Man number 10, I would say it's kind of like C. There's an argument to be made. It's probably around C to B. Like it's kind of like that in between. It's an older Spider-Man, but again, the Enforcer's not a huge character. Now let's go with something like this, the Rhino. Now the Rhino, it's gonna fall in that B category. Spider-Man 41, first appearance of the Rhino, that's gonna fall in your B, same as the Scorpion. Then we got Spider-Man 40. Spider-Man 40 is when he finds out that the Green Goblin is his best friend's father, Norman Osborn, and they have a big battle, things like that. That's gonna be your C list. Let's see, let's go down through here. Let's do this one. First appearance of the Beetle. Now the Beetle's not a huge character, Spider-Man number 21, but that's probably gonna about the C list, I would say. This book, is gonna be hundreds of dollars. Let's do Spider-Man number 31. Spider-Man number 31. This is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn. Now you got the second appearance of Doc Ock. I'm gonna put that in a C category. This is Spider-Man number 11. Same with Spider-Man number 12. It's the third appearance of Doc Ock, both C categories. Let's see, here we go. First Molten Man, not a huge character. We're gonna put him in the C category, not a huge character. The reason why this comic book is actually quite valuable is because of the all black cover is really hard to get in a good grade. Number 8. Now number 8, not a first appearance of any, but it is an older Silver Age comic book, so there it is. The price is higher, it's desired a lot more, but not a first appearance of really anyone at all. So that is going to be C category. Let's do first appearance as a Kraven. Now Kraven is making its way up to the A list category, but it has a movie coming out. There's an argument to be made that, maybe with this argument being made, I would have to say maybe it's scratching the surface of an A category because not very many superheroes get a movie made about him. I know he's like more of a villain. So let's move him up. He's just borderline A. Here we got the Lizard, Spider-Man number 6. I really like this book. Spider-Man 6, first appearance of the Lizard, really old Silver Age comic book of Spider-Man, so an early appearance, and then you got the Lizard. Now the Lizard has appeared in multiple movies before, never had even his own movie, but has appeared multiple times, so that is going to be A category. Second appearance of the Green Goblin, Spider-Man number 17. I'm going to have to say that's between a B and a C, but we'll put it in, I would say we put that in the B category, because if any villain that Spider-Man has, Green Goblin is the best, or the most desired. I would say, yeah, let's put that in B, slightly into the B category of Spider-Man number 17. Now let's do Spider-Man number 100. Not a huge issue, but it is a number 100. That's going to be the D category. Not really that desired, but it is number 100. Not really a first appearance of anything. It is starting in the Bronze Age. Here we go. We got Spider-Man number 86. This is the reintroduction of Black Widow. Now, this book used to be a lot more popular when Black Widow was around, but has since waned. So it has slowly been dropping in its category, but it still has some value there. This one, now I'm gonna put this is probably an E, maybe scratching the surface of an F key. Now there's obviously below F, but I'm not gonna get into that. That's a lot of other little smaller keys. But this is the first time that Marvel decided to get rid of the Comics Code Authority, and this is Spider-Man number 96, and do issue based on drugs, and they knew they couldn't get approval from the Comics Code, so they're like, who cares? We'll make it without it. Then we got the second appearance of Morbius. Now the second appearance of Morbius, it's between that E and F. I'm gonna put it on the E. Now this is Spider-Man 102, second appearance of Morbius. Morbius used to be a lot more popular when his movie was at its all-time high, but it's been since waning down. But his first appearance in Spider-Man 101, I'm gonna have to say that's B-list category. Just priced, desirability, turned out to be a pretty big character, things like that. Next, we got the death of Gwen Stacy. That series, Spider-Man 122. Now, 122 is slightly more than, 121 is slightly more than 122, but I'm going to put them both in the B category as being desired. So, Spider-Man 121 and 122. Then we got this one is going to be an F category. It's just a minor key. It was a lot more popular when Luke Cage was more popular. This is Spider-Man 123, but it has since been waning down. So it's slowly been dropping, but it's still in that F, which is pretty low. Here we got is Spider-Man 72. This is a classic cover of the Shocker. This, surprisingly, is pretty desired by collectors. It's got that black cover. A lot of people like this cover, but it's not really a first appearance of anyone, but it's going to be in that E category. We got the Shocker. Now the Shocker is probably going to be, I'm going to say, I want to put it in the B category, but it could exist in the C category. First appearance of Shocker, Spider-Man 46. Then down here is we got 44 and 45, the second and third appearance of the Lizard. Not huge keys by any means, but still desired because they're still in that Silver Age category. Same with the Rhino, second appearance of Rhino, number 43, that's down there. Now this one is going to be D. Now this is Spider-Man 42. Now this is the first Mary Jane Watson, but you might be thinking, David, why would you put 42 in the D category? Because with this one, there's multiple appearances of Mary Jane Watson. So in number 15, she actually appeared in name only. So that's kind of an appearance right there. So it gets watered down every single time. And, you know, every time her appearance is like, oh, just a cameo here and this, that. So yeah, but this is going to be D. If it was this first full appearance, like she had a cameo in another issue and like, you know, name only, stuff like that, if that didn't water it down, it would be much higher. All right, let's do another A. Let's do Spider-Man number 4. This is the A category. First Sandman, early appearance of Spider-Man in general. Here we got first S one that I'm gonna do. Spider-Man 129, first appearance of Punisher, massively popular character. This is gonna be in the S tier. Now you might be wondering, well, you know, some of these books are more valuable than others, but again, it's not based on value, it's based on desirability, long-term, things like that. All right, then we got down here in C is number 7, second appearance of the Vulture. And then we got, let's put this guy here, Electro, number 9 in the A category. Also another S tier will be Spider-Man 14, first appearance of the Green Goblin. That is definitely a very high desired book, for sure. We got number 119 and 120. Now, this is kind of high because this is actually pretty desired and a little more expensive. Like if you compare it to like 118, the issue before, things like that, it's definitely a massive bump in price because it's much more desired. These books roughly about the same price as well. Second appearance of the Punisher, I'm going to put it at a D list. Now, this is first appearance of Tarantula and actually a cameo at the very end of Punisher as well. That's going to be a D list as well. All right, here's another S tier one, Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom. Yes, this is way less expensive than some of these other books down here in the A tier, or even the B tier, even sometimes in the C tier. But it is Venom. Like I said, long-term desirability, that is a factor that you have to consider while doing this. Down here at D is we got Spider-Man 316. Now, this is kind of his second full appearance, first cover appearance of Venom. Okay, next we got Spider-Man number 25. Like I said, a cameo of Mary Jane. See, that's kind of what's going on with this one, but it's also older Spider-Man, so it definitely has some things going on with it. Like I said, if you had Mary Jane just first full appearance in one particular issue, it'd be much higher, but I guess kind of gets watered down over time. Next we got is Spider-Man number 13. This will also be in the B tier. It's pretty big issue, but I can't see it as high as Spider-Man number 3, first appearance of Doc Ock. Now this will be an A tier for sure. Super mighty villain for Spider-Man, and actually took over his body one time in Superior Spider-Man. And then let's do also number 2, first appearance of the Vulture, also an early appearance of Spider-Man, very early, and that is an A tier as well. Next we got down here is Spider-Man 238, first appearance of the Hobgoblin, and that is going to be an A tier. Yes, that is an A tier collectible comic. And then down at F tier, you're going to get a second appearance, not as great, but still second appearance, barely even making this list at all. Next is we got is Spider-Man 298, which will be the first appearance of Todd McFarlane working on Spider-Man. And honestly, this is probably going to be around 298 and 299, both sitting in that F tier. Still desired, just not as much as other books. Spider-Man 301, I would put the same, even though this is much more of an expensive book than the other ones. Now, with Spider-Man 328, this is where he battles the Hulk. This is probably the most expensive in the McFarlane run, outside of obviously the Venom stuff and the 301. But it's just barely making that list. This is, battling the Hulk. What can I say? People love the Hulk. Actually, this was one of the most expensive art pieces ever sold for a brief period. First appearance of Iron Spider. That's going to be F tier, barely making this list. Same with the Obama cover, barely making this list. Ultimate Spider-Man number 1 is going to be your E tier. This is the white cover variant. If you just wanted the normal one, argument can be made, maybe F tier, but not really. It's not as really desired. The white cover variant, much more desired. 569, second printing variant. This is going to be your E tier. First Man Wolf. This is going to be your E tier. Not that popular character, but still in the Bronze Age, somewhat popular. This is Spider-Man 124. Down here is 23 and 26, early appearances of Green Goblin, early Silver Age appearances. That's going to be your D tier. Spider-Man number 1, obviously S tier. That's S tier all the way. Here we go. We got Spectacular Spider-Man number 1, the magazine. This is when Marvel actually wanted to do kind of a black and white magazine, because magazines weren't under the thumb of the Comics Code Authority. So they came out with a magazine. It only lasted 2 issues and then it got canceled, but somewhat desirable, F tier. Madam Web, right now, pretty hot, but honestly, it's been waning. The trailer came out, it's waning more, going down. We're going to put that at E tier. That's Spider-Man 210. Now, here will be a controversial one. Ultimate Fallout 4, first Miles Morales. We're going to put that at an A tier. Pretty high, but again, Miles Morales is pretty popular for a Spider-Man. Not really Peter Parker Spider-Man, but I figured so many people were going to ask me, so I'm going to put this on the list, and I'm going to put that around the A tier. I do not think it's S tier category, though. Carnage. A tier is where, Spider-Man 361, very, very desired. Not as desired as, obviously, Venom, but very, very desired. this, even though it's not as valuable as some of the other ones, it's definitely in A tier category. I'm gonna run out of room here pretty soon. Kingpin, A category. Spider-Man number 50, first appearance of the Kingpin. Marvel Team Up number 1, that is D. That is actually the second series that Spider-Man appeared in. It was Amazing Spider-Man, Marvel Team Up, and then went on to Spectacular Spider-Man. Even though the Spectacular Spider-Man magazine came out before. Spider-Man Annual number 1, first appearance of Sinister Six. That is going to be B, because it's not a true first appearance of anyone, but it is a first appearance of Sinister Six, which is just a bunch of villains combining together. All right, here we go. This is the Spider-Man variant done by Scott Campbell variant, and it is desired. People want it, but again, it's more desired because of supply and demand. It's, if you had hundreds of thousands of these copies, it wouldn't be as desired or expensive. 567 variant. Probably going to put it around a B. Now, this is a very, very expensive book. But what happened was the original 566, I believe, it had a print run of like 160,000. And they had a variant for that one as well. I think it's a 1 in 100. And then, so then they came out 567, and another 1 in 100 variant, but it only sold 80,000 copies, the original. So not that many people actually bought. You'd have to buy 100 copies for your comic shop in order to get one of these. Not very many people did, so it makes it very, very rare. Very cool cover, but it's definitely a very expensive Spider-Man variant, very expensive in general variant. But I think if the print run was higher, it wouldn't be as desired. It's more of like the price that really makes this high on this list. Spider-Man 252. Yep, that is S tier category. Yes, the price is not as high as these other ones, like a Spider-Man 1, but it's very, very desired. These things, as a comic book dealer, these things sell like this all day long, all day long. The desirability is so high on this book. All right, Spider-Man 700, that's gonna be F. This is down low. It's kind of the end of the series. I know it picked up again and it's now in the 800 and something, but it's kind of the original run when people are collecting. They usually go up to 700. That's when a lot of collectors stop. Really consider that the full run, even though it continues on more and more. Here we go. We got Spider-Man number 1 from the Hustlers sketch variant. Now you're like, why is this way down here? Yes, it's expensive. I think it sells for $700, $800 in a 9.8. It was selling for $2,500. But here's the thing: is these variants a lot of times they pop off. They're really expensive in the beginning, and they start going down and down and down. It's been out for a year-ish, and I guarantee you in 3-4 years from now, it'll be worth less than it is now. So it is waning down, but yes, it is expensive, and it does have an M&M. Same with this one, the remastered, same scenario. These remasters, very expensive, but they'll just start dropping in price more and more and more as time goes on. Hammerhead. Spider-Man 113, barely making this list as a key at all. It just got that old Bronze Age going on for it, and just a minor key. Not that desired, but still making this list, at least in the F tier category. Here's another controversial one. We're going to put Spider-Man Annual 16 right here. First appearance of Captain Marvel Rambeau. Now, this comic book was barely a key before, but then they decided to put her in the new MCU movie, The Marvels, and WandaVision stuff. Massive, got huge, expensive, thousands of dollars. I think maybe like $2,000 or something for a 9.8 or something. Ridiculous. Then it's just dropped, just straight dropped. And that's basically, if you would have made this tier list before, like a couple years ago, it would have been much higher, but it's continuing to drop more and more and more. And based off the box office of the Marvels, we won't see her again. So this is going back to where it would have been before. It's not the first appearance of Captain Marvel in general. It's his first appearance of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. So this will continue to drop more and more. Here we go. Spider-Man 365, first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Down here on the list, you can make an argument that it should be an E tier, but I'm going to stick it in F tier. First appearance of Prowler is C tier. This book wasn't very expensive or not that desired up until a few years ago, and it's becoming more and more desired. But who knows what will happen long term? That's another thing you have to think about long term. Where's this going to be in like 10 years, 15 years? This is probably E territory. This is when Harry Osborn becomes the new Green Goblin. The Clone Saga is definitely going to be F tier. That's Spider-Man 148 and 149. Second appearance of the Kingpin, we're going to put that in D. That's Spider-Man 51. Spider-Man 39 is going to be a C tier. That is the first appearance now this is obviously higher than 40 because it's also the first John Romita Sr. working on Spider-Man. I'm going to put the second Scorpion also in C list at the bottom end of C list. Classic cover Spider-Man 33. This will be C list as well. Same with Spider-Man 194, first Black Cat. Now, many people are like, why isn't this way higher? Actually, I'm going to move this up to B tier. This is B tier. B tier. That's where it was. Spider-Man 194 is B tier. Spider-Man 265, first appearance of Silver Sable. I'm looking at this and I want to say it is a first appearance. Got to put this in E tier. Now we're at E tier. Let's see, we got a few more left here. Spider-Man 601, J. Scott Campbell, more controversial cover. It's been blowing up more recently in the last couple years. It's at F. I mean, if you went back a few years ago, this probably wouldn't have made the list, but it's been gaining speed, as time goes on. Like I said, it's long-term. Long-term plays into this. So long-term, as this keeps on being more desired and more collected, it can move up this list. So right now it's F, on its way to E tier. Let's do the big one. Let's do Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy. Oops, that's not supposed to be 15. That is going into your S. Obviously, we have to put this at number 1. This is not really in any order. I'm just putting them as I go, just for fun. But definitely, this is your number one Spider-Man book. If you're going to buy any book and you can afford it, Amazing Fantasy 15. That's the one you should be buying. F tier, Web of Spider-Man 118. First Scarlet Spider solo series. Cloak and Dagger, Spectacular Spider-Man 64. That's going to be E tier. That's first Cloak and Dagger. First Frank Miller on Daredevil. So not even really a Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man book, but not a Spider-Man key, more of a Daredevil key. Spectacular Spider-Man 27. That's going to be F. These books right here, this continues that story of 96 of getting rid of the Comics Code. That's going to be E. D tier, Spectacular Spider-Man number 1. Started off the series, although not that many keys in the series. Same with Web of Spider-Man number 1, but this is a little less desired. That will be an E tier. Marvel Team Up 94, first appearance Mockingbird, down here at F tier. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars is going to be an A tier. Highly desired book. Very much so. Sells like that. Trust me. I'm going to put this at B tier. Now, you might be thinking, okay, why is this one, 252, S tier? This one is A tier, but Marvel Team Up is down at B tier? Well, this one, Spider-Man 252, technically came out first. Technically. And it's also in the Spider-Man run. That's the biggest issue. A lot of people try to complete the Spider-Man run. And so having a Marvel Team Up 141, not that many people care to complete Marvel Team Up run. So therefore, yeah, it's not as desired. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, this is a great cover. It's just very desired, much more desired than this. And that is the key thing, is desirability. Now, a lot of you are out there probably thinking like, hey, that's my number 1 key. And there's even like some word that describes people that think like if they think it's important, then it is the most important thing out there, and they forget that everyone's an individual and they think differently. Me, I have kind of a different perspective. Since I'm a comic book dealer, I can see which books sell faster, which means they're more desired, or what people ask me, hey, do you have this book, or when you get this book, can you tell me so I can get it from you? So I can see the desirability, or how fast things sell. This one, Spider-Man number 7, the Ditko variant. It is very expensive, so more expensive than the 700 non-variant. I'm gonna put it at E E tier. It's probably like a $900 book in a 9.8, somewhere around there. It's been going down. It used to be a lot more expensive, but it's kind of settled around that price. Down here, I'm gonna put the Marvel Collectible Classics 1 and 2. They basically are Spider-Man #1 and Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 300. They're pretty desired, but they're kind of outside of the Amazing Spider-Man run in general. Down here, we got number 59. This is definitely desired a little more than your average comic book. Same with 52. 90, Death of Captain Stacy is down here in F. You know, this Spider-Man 5, this is a tough one. It's between A and B. I'm gonna go with A, but at the very, not like just barely making the A list. It is an old Spider-Man appearance, but it's no first appearance. It is first time Dr. Doom appeared in anything outside of Fantastic Four. Cool cover. So yeah, it's A. Spider-Man 16. I'm running out of room. It's between B and C. I'm gonna go with C. It's an early Daredevil appearance. That's all it has really going for it. And early Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man 16. First Ned leads. 27 is gonna be down here with its brothers. Spider-Man #1, Gold and Platinum will both be D list Spider-Man ones. The gold one with the UPC, not the gold one with the direct. This one was limited, not sold that many. All right, now we got some variants here. 648, expensive, but not as desired, more rare. Now here we got the Ultimate Fallout 4 variant. Now you'd think it'd be up here in the A tier, but you'd be wrong. It's expensive, yes, but I'm gonna put it down here in the C tier. It's not as desired. It doesn't sell as fast. It's also dropped in price quite a bit. And then final one, Spider-Man 678. I'm gonna put this as a D tier variant, pretty high up on the variant, very desired. I would say if you're collecting, you know, go for these S tier books. These are going to be, now obviously you have Spider-Man 252, which is, it's just compared to the other ones in the A, like you might be like, oh, first Sandman, that's a better book. First Doc Ock, yeah, I agree. But this Spider-Man 252, it is very desired because of the fact that it is also a lot cheaper. Not very many people can afford a Spider-Man #3. But this one just sells like crazy. Long term, I think this will be a really good book long term as well, because it's not that expensive to get into. But obviously you'd want to go for, you know, your Spider-Man 1 and Fantasy 15. But this is my list of Spider-Man keys. There's going to be other little smaller keys, and they might be, you know, below F tier, maybe some squeaking in the F tier, but pretty much this is all the keys there is for Spider-Man, mostly focusing on the Amazing Spider-Man run with other ones in general, like the Ultimate Spider-Man and Web Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay, let me know what you think. Let me know if you disagree with this list, and you can tell me in the comments, you know, David, you're dumb. You know, Ultimate Fallout 4 variant should be above Fantasy 15. I mean, there are people that think that. So, have a great day.